world. This is Jedd Johnson. Of course, you know they call me Napalm. And this is episode 104 of This Week in Grip. Today I'm joined by Alan T. Hynek, Esquire. That is your middle initial, right, Alan?
That is the middle initial. It's the first time you've referenced it, though, in over a couple of years now.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Which is funny. We never talked about that. How did you even know that? Is that on, like, my Facebook or something?
No, dude. I got my ways.
You're just in the know.
And I got James, Professor Crowbar Retoritas, as well as Andrew Pantke here on the call. Andrew is the mastermind behind the Living Legends of Grip contest, which goes down on September 6th and 7th at Durniat Strength in Wooster, Ohio. And we're going to be talking about that big time today. But before we get into it, let's run down the list of bullet points, shall we? Number 1, hit that like button. That really helps us out. 2, subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you get notifications about each new video that comes out. And 3, leave comments related to the show's content. We want to know what you hear, or we want to know what you think as we go through all the topics that we discuss. And number 4, and most importantly, share this video all over the place, brother. Don't forget the first rule of grip sport. You tell everyone about grip sport. Andrew, thanks for being on the show with us today, dude. How's it going?
Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, really good, really good. I'm looking forward to this.
Fantastic. So, Living Legends will be here before you know it. We're just a little bit over a month away from it. 2-day grip contest. The first one that I can even think of is outside of the Columbus, Ohio Arnold Classic layout. How's everything going with the contest and getting ready for it and everything like that? It's been 3 years. You ready to go here, man?
Well, yeah, that's the weird thing. It's when I've had 3 years, I've been thinking about this now for that long, and it's like, oh, wow, the freight train is finally here. It has to happen. Mm-hmm. So I'm running down a bunch of the odds and ends, but most of it, I'd say 90-ish% of it, it's good to go. We're good to go. And now I'm just trying to get catering set up for dinner on Saturday night and a few other odds and ends. So, yeah, we're pretty much good to go. Maybe drag a few more sponsors in to get the prize money up a notch, but, yeah, we're pretty good to go.
Very cool. Before, as I called in, you guys were already talking about some stuff. I don't know what I might have missed. You guys want to bring that stuff back up?
We're
bashing you, Jedd.
Yeah. We were talking about how awful your form was on those 140-pound dumbbell presses.
Oh, God. Yeah.
No, actually, what we were talking about, because that was actually really impressive, Jedd, what we were talking about was, Jason and I are going to be taking weights to get them weighed in for our event September 21st, and we were talking about the best writing implements to write on weights because most of them are dark surfaces. So that's what we were talking about.
All right, so that's where I came in. All right, I didn't know if there was anything else that was being discussed of high priority and interest. So
no, nothing. Paint dry stuff, marker dry stuff.
Markers.
Yeah. Well, I found with the white paint markers that if you got to shake them up and stuff, and then like press on you got to like depress the point of it. But you can't do it like while you're writing, because if you depress it and then write, it like smears all over. It like oozes right out, like you dumped paint all over the plate or dumbbell that you're writing on. So that is, and
it does. It looks like crap. Yeah, if you get it gets all runny and shit. Yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah. So Andrew. People may not be aware, but you ran this contest the first time in 2016. Why exactly did you want to put on a contest of this nature? Because it is quite a bit different from the normal grip competition.
So in 2016, it was kind of like what I would call the itch I had to scratch. At the time we had Adam, Andrew, yourself, and Cody Burns lined up to play the quote-unquote Legends class. And the idea being this was a contest similar to Mighty Mitts, because Mighty Mitts had gone away, where I'm going to bring up the best that I can find for various reasons. You know, Cody's real good at the vertical lifts. Your pinch is off the charts. At the time, Andrew was nigh untouchable on thick bars. So we brought that together, and the idea being you get these 4 guys together to compete, but you can also go ahead and join them. You know, to kind of call the nerd in me, like, this is your hard mode. Feel free to come, but don't expect it to be easy. So, and then that was where the 4 events came from. And then that year, if you remember, that was an Olympic year. So after the contest, you know, Andrew caught me off the side. He's like, you know, that'd be kind of cool if we kind of modeled this after the Olympics and did it every few years. But, you know, anytime you run a huge contest, you're like, man, don't talk to me about it. Give me a breather. You know, a couple months later, though, it's like, yeah, I like that idea. Let's do this like the Olympics. So I was like, I just can't wait 4 years. So I was like, 3 years. Why not? That's long enough.
I was wondering where that came from.
I just couldn't wait that long. That's all.
Yeah, totally.
Like, let's do it again.
You know, putting on large-scale arm wrestling events, and, you know, afterwards, you know, usually you would have them at, you know, some facility that sold food and drink, and afterwards they would be all excited about doing another one, and I would be like, I don't know what the polite way is to say this, but leave me alone and go away. Maybe next week we'll talk about this. Yeah.
You know, have you ever noticed I drop off the radar after King Kong until the new year hits completely?
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's, you know, it's
screw you guys.
Out of you. You put everything into something like that to get people there, and there's all the legwork behind the scenes, calling people, sometimes making sure you have hotels set up, you know, that have special room rates, and, you know, they have blocks of rooms, and if they're, you know, if you need more than one hotel, it's like, you know, it's a lot of legwork that people don't see. I mean, they see you running around like a chicken with your head cut off day of the event, but they don't see all of the stuff that goes on in the months prior. So. Yep.
Exactly. So the other thing that I changed for this format was, this one's gone through a lot of iterations, so I'll go way back to the beginning. When I first thought of it, it's like, I've already done it with my 4 Legends athletes. Then I was like, okay, let's model it after the guys from the turn of the century, the original founders of the sports. And that kind of laid out the groundwork for the events. And it didn't end up turning into that because some of the events were changed. But all the events were originally modeled after somebody back in the day. So like the Saxon Bar would be after Arthur Saxon. The Blobs was based off Richard Soren. Pull up my thing here. You know, the double slim lever was based off Slim Farman. The axle, obviously, Apollon. Then the Jolette Anvil. So that was the original concept. And it's since morphed and evolved, of course, but that was the original thought pattern.
Well, I think that's fantastic. From. Yeah, actually, you know, it's funny. I didn't know that about your event. I didn't know that was what it was modeled after. That's pretty cool that you're doing it that way.
I don't think I've told a whole lot of people that was the original brainstorm.
Oh,
it did evolve. What's that?
No, I said, well, you have now.
Yeah, exactly.
Now people will understand the origins of the Legends competition.
That was it. Yeah, and then the evolution continued. So the first step was I had to find a venue. And, of course, I went back to Andrew and said, hey, you know, we will do this again. He's like, absolutely. And it's like, okay, well, it's your venue. Do you want to have an input on an event? And he's like, absolutely. I want that axle back. It's like, okay, well, that's one event definitely nailed down. So the 2 3/8 axle, then my business partner, Jake, who handles all the inch dumbbells, is like, I'd love to see the inch dumbbells as an event. I'm like, oh, crap, you just threw me 2 thick bar events for a contest. Now I got to figure out how to balance this thing out.
Yeah. So what are going to be the events this year? If you could just sort of run our listeners through it. I know a lot of people could just see it on the grip board, but if you could just sort of run through the events so people know.
Great idea.
So Friday, we're going to open up with a max effort gripper close. either hand, doesn't matter. 4 attempts platform, this is pretty much a standard way of running grippers. 1 close, that's your score. Get your poundage. The second event after that is going to be the double slim hammers off the floor. So that's where you've got those hammers laying on the floor, then you lever them up vertical. And once the levers are straight up and down, that's a good lift.
Now, is there going to be a pad there?
There is going to be pads there.
Okay.
So it's about 1.5 inch piece of foam with a towel wrapped over it. So it's bolted in place so everybody will have the same setup for that. But if you're going to train it, I would just take a real thick hand towel, wrap it up. Yep. Don't pull an Aaron and do it off the rubber flooring.
Well, it's funny because when we were at Slim's house a few weeks ago, he only has it's like a pad, but it's on the floor and it's not bunched up. He doesn't have anything rolled up that you can kind of use to get some leverage. You have to just sort of drive your hand into the floor to do it.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I never did it that way until that day, and I've never really tried it with the pad. So I know guys like Jedd and you could probably tell us what the difference is.
You want to take that, Jedd?
Or not?
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought it was going to Andrew, but you're talking about the differences when you're going off the floor and off a pad? Yeah. Oh, my gosh. The difference is, you can't even compare the two. If you're... if your hand's at the same level as the floor and you don't have any kind of a drop or anything like that, then you're looking at a test of wrist strength that's probably, almost twice as hard, twice as difficult. Because when you're dropping off a pad onto the floor, then there's a lot of momentum that's going on there, and you're actually, the handle is dropping, and it's causing the head of the hammer to raise during that phase where it changes elevation. Okay. Whereas if you are just if you're staying same level, then you don't get that drop. You don't get that momentum, and there's no assistance there. So you have to make up for that with a lot of speed. And when you're going really fast like that, then you're driving into the floor harder. So so now your knuckles are getting wrecked. So that's why it's important to have some kind of a barrier between, like Andrew said, the rubber flooring and your hand, because there's going to be a ton of pressure going on there. You could easily get your knuckles skinned.
Easily.
And probably even I would say some bruising going on there just from the pressure of doing even the base weight implement. I think they're 10-pound hammers, Andrew.
Yep, for the Legends they're going to be 10-pound hammers. So to put it in perspective, without the drop, I would be shocked to see a 30-pound pull off the floor flat. With the pad, I expect a few guys to go 50.
Wow. Okay. So it's
that would be from my own experience. It shoots me down that far when I go flat off the floor. Plus, it is just ungodly painful.
That's good to know. So do you weigh the whole rig, or you just go by the hammer weight and then add weight?
Since it's not tracked or anything of that nature, I'm going just off the hammer weight plus the weights added.
So the truth is,
10 pounds.
Yeah. The hammers with the so they're probably closer to 12 pounds a piece total, and then you have the rig itself. They must be bolted together, right?
Yep.
So you're probably looking 25-pound range to start, and then that's gonna
Now I got the Lucas makes one that's all metal, that's loadable. That's going to go down to probably as low as 2-3 pounds. Is what it feels like empty. So it's not like that's the minimum to jump into.
Gotcha. Okay.
But once you get to the point where you're adding 20 pounds onto it, we're switching over to the hammers because, frankly, it looks cool.
Yeah.
It's got to look good.
Well, there's that, and it's the Legends competition. So it's it's going to be a little exclusive. It's like, this is your entry point. If you can do this, then here you go, kind of thing. So very cool.
Graduation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did I tell you guys about when we weighed the hammers recently?
Yeah.
Maybe, and how the
14.
Have you ever seen? So Andrew, were you at Nationals in 2014? It was at Durniance. It was the year that we did the sledge choke with the 14-pound hammers.
I might have missed that year.
Okay.
That being said, I might have been there. It's kind of my memory's going to crap that far back.
No problem. Well, the point is, I don't know how many hammers you've weighed and noticed inconsistencies or whatever, but I think when we weighed our 16-pound hammer, like handle and all, it was like 16.8 pounds. When we weighed our 14-pound hammer that we used at Nationals, it was 16.2 pounds.
Oh, wow.
It was like extremely heavy for a 14-pound hammer.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
And
have you ever noticed that before?
I haven't. I haven't had enough hammers to weigh them up.
Yeah, we haven't either. I mean, we've never made we never really made a habit to weigh any hammers that we did, but we were doing the Reddit challenge, the sledge finger walk, so we weighed it on film, and here it is, over 16 pounds for a 14-pound hammer, and that's what we contested on. That's what we contested on that year for the sledge choke.
All right, and I'll be checking the hammers for sure.
And Luke lifted that to an 18-inch platform one time by the freaking end without the quarter falling off. He ended it. That's a 16-pound hammer, basically.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep.
I had no idea they varied that much. That was the main deal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I remember we had the conversation because I told you my 18-pound hammer and my 16-pound hammer weigh almost the same, only my 18-pound hammer's got a thinner handle, so it's actually a lot easier to do a lot of that work with.
Yeah, yep, that's right.
And that's my ultimate goal is to end that hammer, to go all the way to the back of that. So, of course, people bitch about my form anyway. But, yeah, I'm nowhere close to it, Jedd. I got a long way to go till I get there, but, it's like an ultimate
goal. That was your goal for the 18, you said?
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it might never happen.
Where do you get an 18-pound hammer?
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. It came across on my wife's Facebook feed, and it was like one of those things where it was like advertised, and it was this old circus hammer that we had shipped from England.
Huh.
And it's awesome. It's cool. It looks like something out of the Flintstones,
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
cool.
But it's got a great handle. The handle's a little loose, but it's thin, and and the handle itself is light. So like I had a chance to lever Slim's 18-pound hammer that he has, and it just doesn't even compare to mine. It's like it's probably 2 pounds lighter than Slim's, and the handle's a lot harder. So.
Wow.
So, yeah, even though it's stamped 18, it's barely 18.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas my 16 is like 17.8 or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. They must not be real tight on their control processes in those factories for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. But I know who is tight on his control processes, Andrew Pantke.
That's right. That's a fantastic segue. So what else do we need to cover with the grippers and the hammers on day one of the Living Legends meet, bro?
So that's going to be day one. At that point, I'm doing that on a Friday night. I don't know. I'm trying to allow people who are local to work a half a day or work a full day and come on over, type of thing. That's going to put us pretty much through the end of Friday. Do you want to move on to Saturday?
Yeah, unless there was anything else you wanted to cover. It's going to be a late night. We're going to get done around 9 o'clock.
About 9 o'clock is my predictions.
When are weigh-ins and everything on Friday? When does all that happen?
So weigh-ins are going to be – I'm planning on being down there Thursday morning or so. So Friday morning, I'm going to start setting up at the gym. You show up, you weigh in.
Okay.
Type of thing. Because the way I figure it, as the day starts progressing and we get closer to the contest, it's going to start getting more and more hectic and busy. The last thing I want to do is try to run everyone through that, plus get everything else set up.
Sure.
So what you weigh in on day one is there's no second weigh-in on Friday, right?
Nope. No, we're not going to weigh in again.
And then are you going to use body weight for tiebreakers or anything like that? Will that ever come into play?
There won't need to be. Because when you get down to the blob and inch medley, unless if you guys can somehow finish these within 1 second of each other, there will be a natural tiebreaker built in.
Gotcha. Okay, dude. Cool.
So what time? What time
James.
for the people who might want to come watch or weigh in on Friday? What time would the event start on Friday?
We're going to start at 5:15 on Friday. So rules and intro at 5 o'clock. And then we're going to go from there.
Okay.
So I've got a timetable based on 28 athletes. So we're a little short on that, but I figured that there's always a few that show up the day of. So.
Okay.
So yeah, that's planned to go from 5 to 9. So that'll give us more time.
Guy closing grippers at a time.
I'm hoping to. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay. Then Saturday.
Saturday. So we're going to start off at 9 a.m. And then the first event, we're going to jump right into the axle. This is going to be the 2 3/8 axle.
Okay.
So that's going to be that nice big fat one. I know Andrew came just within a. Go ahead.
No, I was saying the way out of my league axle. Go ahead.
Out of mine too. Actually, the weird thing is I've trained with that almost exclusively now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it?
And you know how stubby my little fingers are.
Well, yeah. I was going to say, I think you and I got pretty much similar hands.
Right.
What are you doing it to lift the inch, or is it like an inch training thing that you're doing because of the similar handle size?
I'll do a quick segue. What I found is I can do axle pulls on that bar, and it cuts the poundage enough to where I can use it as a warm-up for straight deadlifting. Where if I go with a 2-inch axle, there's enough overlap, I go into straight deadlifts to fatigue. And it takes off my top end.
Okay.
So,
that's good training information.
Yeah, I haven't figured out how to train for the inch yet with my stubbies.
Okay.
I make a little bit of progress, and then I slip right back to where I started. So.
I know. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But damn it, we'll get it, Andrew. We're going to.
Someday. I own enough of the stupid things. I should pick it up.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. I don't own one, so that's hard to train if you don't own one. But I know.
I'll save that when we get to the inch medley. You can hear about my stupid collection.
Okay. All right. We'll do that. So Saturday. I'm sorry.
So back to that axle. Andrew pulled just shy of 400 pounds on that as the top end. Jedd, I believe you were around the 360 mark back then, and that was taking a lot of guys down, was about 360s.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So I'm sure you guys are going to crack the 400 mark this year.
So your opening weight is 130 kilograms on that?
Yep. For the
that
legend,
with 10 kilogram jumps. Yeah, that should be washing some people out pretty quick.
Class, though, Alan.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The point of that is I can't. You remember the last year, in 2016, we had a lot of guys who were taking 6, 7, 8 attempts up at the platform.
Yes.
Alan, that's to limit that. I put it at a high enough weight to weed out a lot of the warm-up weights, and then the jumps are big enough to actually knock people off. As we go.
And I didn't understand why they were doing that either. Like, big dudes going up there and doing like 250 pounds or something like that. It made no sense. So.
Yeah, and then
so the jumps were smaller. They were smaller last year, like 5 kilograms or something.
They were about 5 kilo jumps, and then exactly what Jedd was saying. Guys were using the actual platform as a warm up. So I mean, I'm not joking. There were times people went up 11 times to the platform.
Oh, I really like that.
I'm going to eliminate that.
I'm going to keep that in mind. That 10, I'm making a note of that right now. 10 kilograms for future purposes for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll
Axel,
thin the herd a little faster.
At
yeah,
least
the
for
other
Axel,
events are different.
Because
I did 5
anything
recently.
smaller than that on Axel, you're going to eat up a lot of time on attempts. And people that don't know where they're actually at are going to probably end up finishing before they're really reach their max lift, you know?
No, that's a
like,
good
I guess
number.
I'm going to take this one too. So, yeah.
So
okay.
I'll give you guys a little insight on here. You know where I picked all the minimums for all the lifts?
Why?
Those are my lifts.
Okay.
Those are all my lifts. So everything I put on there is a minimum I can do. So I know you guys can do it.
So in order to be a legend, you have to be able to exceed Andrew Pantke's
Exactly.
PR, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yep.
So you better not step up and bomb out then, Andrew. Or are you competing?
Are you crazy? No. I'm going to be that running around like a chicken with my head cut off all day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you guys ever find
else?
an announcer for this thing?
I have not. That's actually been on my to-do list.
Okay.
There you go, James.
I was going to say, I mean, if you got a lot of installs laying around, maybe you can give me one of those and I can come up and announce it.
It's viable.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, we got to talk about this. What do you know? I just threw that out.
We'll talk after.
What do you know? Yeah, let's do that. All right, so
I can use the help.
Anyway, I digress. Go ahead, Mr. Pantke.
Yeah. Anything else we want to discuss on the Axel?
Hey, are you going with 3 judges again? I was wondering about that.
If I can find them.
Okay.
I have not had a overly ambitious amount of jumping up people going, I want to judge for you. So.
Right.
So at this point, at least it'll be me at this point, which I don't know. I tend to be fairly on the strict side.
Did you have issues with lockout calls last time?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay. All right. Well, good.
No, when in doubt, they were calling them bad.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah. The only thing we're going to probably see some weird lockouts, well, we'll digress right now over to the Saxon bar. So when you start getting heavy on a Saxon, you don't have a traditional lockout. You know, your hips can come forward, your knees can lock, but that upper body, depending on the athlete, it's all over the place. A few people I've seen, they can get their shoulder blades ramrod back, and other people, they're still hunched over Quasimodo. They can't pull it back. Otherwise, they're going to knock that bar against their hips and knock it out of their hands.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Sure.
So I know on the Saxon, I'm looking for hips, knees, and stop motion. I really kind of don't care what's happening on their upper bodies. As long as it's consistent.
Andrew, what about with the implement going into the hip socket, the hip crease? Is there going to be any kind of red flag thrown for contact there?
Incidental contacts will be fine, but if you're like shelving it on your hips, that'll be disallowed.
That sounds great. Sounds great, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because you can't avoid it. You can't avoid touching the hips.
Yeah, to a degree, it's almost always going to happen, but there's also a way that you can shelve it. I like how you use that term.
And the other thing is, I'm going to be looking for consistency. So I'll give you an example. You've seen Gurney at deadlift. Whether he gets it at a high end or a low end lift, they all look the same. He's ramrod straight. I'll be looking for that.
He has beautiful form on that.
Yeah, he does. But now you take a look at, say, like Ardo. Ardo had, he always had more of a rounded back form. As long as the form's consistent is what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but if you go from a guy who's ramrod straight to rounded over, you're not there yet.
Right. Yep.
So
awesome.
There'll be a degree
Great
of that.
clarification, dude.
Yeah.
All right.
The Saxon, what are we opening with that? 154, 70 kilos. This will be a 2-inch bar. This was sponsored by the Canadian Grip Sport, this event, so that got dropped from a 2.5 down to a 2-inch bar. And
ooh,
so
I like that.
2x5.
Is
2
that
by
for
5.
both? It was a different size for open class. Is that a typo, or is that the actual intention? 2 and 2.5.
Probably no. They're supposed to both be 2-inch. Did I have a typo somewhere?
Well, I was looking at the in the open class. It was shown as 2-handed pinch, 2.5-inch Saxon bar.
Yep, I got a typo there.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, not calling you on spelling or anything. I just didn't know if it was intentionally going to be a different event.
No.
Okay.
Nope. Thank you. I'll fix that after this meeting. Thankfully, I've talked to all the athletes, so that's a good catch.
Okay.
So yeah.
So who are we?
So we're gonna go with the 2-inch. What's that?
No, who are we expecting? Like, who do we know? Sounds like you have some international guys coming too, huh?
Mm-hmm. I got the athlete list here. Do you want to jump over to that, or do you want to stick on the events?
Oh no, we can stick on the events and then maybe go to that afterwards. I apologize
all right,
for
I'll
that.
jump on that. No, not a problem. The other thing with the Saxon is it's going to be raw steel, no painted surfaces. So I got a lot of yeah.
That was my applause sound effect.
Okay. I figured you would like that, Jedd.
Yeah. I painted those 2.5s from 2016, and it was a unanimous, don't ever do that again.
So is there partner assist chalking allowed on these then? This is for Jedd's benefit.
I had never even thought of that.
What, is Luke going to be there to chalk whisper?
Dude, he's going to be there to compete. I don't know if he's going to want to chalk with me because he and I are really close on Saxon bar.
So he's going to wipe it off right before you go then.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Never know how strategy will pan out. Day of a contest, man. Sometimes bridges are burned.
I might have to look it up. You two might be going right after each other because you two signed up close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Luke's going to throw a little olive oil on that Saxon bar for you, Jedd.
You have a stick of butter in his
That's funny.
pocket after he gets off the class.
It's not very funny.
Jedd is not impressed.
I'm not amused.
I feel like I just put up a YouTube video.
Beautiful.
Okay, so Saxon bar.
What do you think, Jedd? Jedd, what do you think's going to happen on that bar?
What do I think's going to happen on that bar? Well,
yeah.
Up until this point, I didn't realize that it was a 2-inch, even though I think you actually told me in the chat like last week. So I've been training on a 2.5. So I know what I can get on a 2.5. And I just actually trained with Rindo yesterday down in Harrisburg at Paul Lynn's house so he could get an idea of where he would start at. And now with it being a 2-inch,
Probably not telling Luke about that, are you? You just let him think it's 2.5, right?
Oh no, he's a podcast fan from way back, so he'll be finding out. He'll find out very soon enough, anyway.
So
I know
you went to
Aaron keeps
Paul
threatening me
Lynn's
with a 300. Okay.
300?
That's what Aaron keeps threatening me with.
That sounds like a ton on that, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, it's pretty narrow. 2 inches.
Those jumps are gigantic. 5 kilograms seems like quite the jump on that too. Nice.
I don't know, man. 300 is definitely possible on any Saxon bar, I think.
Yeah, and you said Aaron Corcoran. Is that what you're talking about? You said Aaron was threatening you with 300.
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron keeps threatening me with he's going to pull 300
been doing
when
dedicated Saxon bar pinch work for longer than anybody I know. So
yeah.
At that width? Is that his width too? 2-inch?
Yeah, that's his kill zone.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Kill zone. I like that.
Well, how did our Canadian friends settle on the 2-inch instead of the 2.5, just for fun? They get on board with Aaron or what?
Actually, it was to balance the Blob medley was Eric's thought process.
Okay. All right.
So rather than having 2 thicker pinches, he's like, okay, well, if I have to deal with these blobs, then let's throw something thin on there too.
That makes sense because you'd have a lot right in that realm with the, with the axle and that all fits. Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
so there's a little gamemanship going.
I like it.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep. All right.
Sounds good.
Then we've got the anvil coming up after that. That's that cast anvil head that we had in 2016.
Yes, sir.
We're going to start that at 154. That one you guys totally blew out of the water back then. I thought 200 would have been a high lift. That's going to be 250s easy.
Wow.
Oh yeah. And then I think you and I talked about this, but I can't remember exactly what the answer was. At the 2016, Gil introduced everyone to like the reverse technique where you kind of pick it up backwards. Are you allowing that this year?
Okay, so I'm going to allow that. However, you need to not show your backside to the audience. You need to move the implement.
I like
right.
that.
So
yeah,
you don't want,
sure.
you don't want everybody looking at plumber's crack every time they take an
That's
attempt.
right.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened in 2016. I mean, we got up to a certain poundage, and it was all butts all day long.
Yeah.
Right.
No
right.
press hand
So, yeah.
against the audience.
Yep. So, yeah, we'll just rotate the thing around. So
There you go.
Yeah,
because
this
that's
time
a
I'll have the
knock bar lift,
crossbar.
right? We're gonna pick that up 6 inches. Yeah.
Yes. So rather than the knock bar being fixed to the loading pin, I'm going to have it free floating pinned in place so you can rotate it 360. So that way you're not forced into a certain orientation. So move the
and that
implement.
starts within your 30 seconds?
What's that?
That's in your 30 seconds. So once your name's up, that's when your rotation and everything, all your setup is in that time?
Yes. So 30 seconds, it's going to go 30 seconds of prep, get on the platform.
I got
and
it.
then
Okay.
when the buzzer rings, nobody had better be on the platform. Now, granted, the only other person on the platform should be me setting things up or, retightening stuff or changing weights. When that happens, you got the platform, you got 30 seconds to do what you got to do. And I'm going to try to stick to that firm 30 seconds to keep the day moving along.
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
yeah,
that's definitely not a lot of time. That'll keep things cranking. All right.
Honestly, it's about enough time for 2 legitimate attempts.
Sure.
Up there.
Yep.
To hit it, if you miss it, you can compose yourself, chalk it up, get your head right, and take one more good shot at it.
Okay.
So.
Cool. How about have you set minimum times between subsequent attempts then? So if you blow
it's going to be 30 seconds. Oh, minimums between attempts. What was it? I think 3 to 5 minutes if you're following yourself.
Okay.
That's a long time, brother.
I think it was 3 minutes. Shoot, I'm looking through my notes here.
I think Jedd said his at 2, right, Jedd?
Yeah, I've been doing 2
and then
minutes at my contest.
That's what I followed recently. No, that's a good time though. I think that keeps things moving. 5 minutes is like all day. Yeah.
No, not 5. There shouldn't be a whole lot of following yourself. There really shouldn't be.
Sure.
I'm just looking at the athlete list here. It's like I don't see anybody dominating one event that far. But it's possible. But yeah, I'll have to check that. I think maybe 3 minutes was what I had written down in my master rules. I'll have to check.
Okay. So,
good question.
After the anvil?
Now we're getting crazy. Now we're going to the Thomas Inch dumbbell medley. So, this is where you lift. This is ridiculous.
Oh.
This is miserable. It's 60 seconds. So this is terrible. So, have you ever seen Atlas Stone loading at World's Strongest Man, where they line them up and they go up to the platforms? That is exactly what this is going to be. So you start with the lightest.
The platforms?
No, I'm not that creative. It's going to be a set platform. The platform is 21 inches. It was supposed to be 20, and then I messed up on the carpentry, so it's 21. I didn't account for the rubber mat on the top.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's a 125-inch dumbbell to a 150-inch dumbbell to a 172-inch dumbbell to a steel 180-inch dumbbell. That's that weird green one I have. To a 200-pound inch dumbbell to a 225-pound pro dumbbell.
Okay. So you have a 200-pound cast bell now?
I will.
Okay.
I'm picking it up this week.
I like it. So just the one then, or you whipped up a batch of these? We're getting some insider information now.
I'm getting one initially for evaluation because what we always do is we always have one produced off a mold to verify the mold's good, verify the lettering is crisp. I don't care for this case if lettering's crisp. I want it. I just want this thing. And then we might modify the mold if needed. But yeah, no, we're coming out with a 200 cast bell.
Okay. Oh, beautiful.
Now, the 225, is that going to be affixed to like a 2.5-inch handle? Is it as a Pro Style?
So that is, you're familiar with my Pro Style bells?
I'm familiar with Pro Style bells.
Okay.
The ones with the plate.
So it's going to be a 2.5-inch Pro Style bell. Aaron Corcoran is going to bring up his hemispherical plates for the inners, and then we're going to add plates until we get up to 225. And then we're going to lock it all down.
Wow. Do we know if anyone has lifted anything like that before? Because I'm trying to think, the Millennium dumbbells, how much?
About 228.
34.
Yeah, so it's right around that range, huh?
Tanner's been hitting something up there, isn't he?
Yeah, Tanner's close. You probably catch him on the good day, he'll probably get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, that came from, so when I was planning out the inch bells, I was talking to Derny on Messenger, and we were going back and forth, and I said, well, what about a 200? And he's like, oh, yeah, I can get that, not a problem. And I'm like, well, shoot. So then I threw it out there, well, what about a 225? He stops. He doesn't message me for a few minutes, and he's like, that one I have to train for. It's like, okay, you just set the weights.
Yeah, wow. Jedd, what's scary?
So he was standing next to these bells when he was messaging you then, huh? He's just trying them quick.
Jedd?
Yes, sir.
What say you about this 225 bell?
Is bracing the hand against the inside of the globes permitted?
Be my guest.
Then I think someone will probably lift it because I've done our 207, and I know that Eric and Andrew are both stronger than me on thick bar. So if it was going to be lifted perfectly level, I would say probably not. But I think given that that's not going to be, we're not going to be handcuffed by that, then yeah, someone's going to lift those 225s.
Well, being a medley, I'm not going to be super fussy on how strict you lift it. It's as long as it's a one-handed lift,
man.
and you get it on the platform.
Sure, time is of the essence.
Yeah,
naturally.
Yeah, you need to go fast. So.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. So then you have a blob medley after this?
Real quick. What's the time limit on the medley, Andrew? Is that 2 minutes or
60 seconds?
Oh, it is. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's scored based on just kind of like strongman. You're going to get a score based on the bigger bell. So regardless of what, if you're the only guy to get the 225 up, you win that event, regardless if you take the whole 60 seconds. So then let's say I have 2-3 guys finish at the 200-pound bell. He who does it faster gets more points. So it's kind of like how they do the silver bullet scoring.
Yeah.
So that's where I've got a natural tiebreaker built in, because the probability that you guys are going to come into a tie and finish within a second or so on a medley, I find that very hard to believe.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, 60 seconds. That's a quick medley. That's a quick medley for. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that's a. You got to be moving. You got to be moving. How many bells? It's 5 bells or 6?
6 bells.
6 bells. Yeah.
Yeah. So once you get to the heavy ones, you don't have a lot of time to get your shit together there. Yeah.
Well,
during all my test runs.
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, what would the strategy be? To try to get the light ones out of the way within seconds, and then just try to, you have
to go in order.
20 seconds.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I've seen happen, everybody I've run on the test run for this, they go to the light bells and they just start throwing them up. Boom, 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 and then they stop cold. Almost every person just stops cold at one bell, where it's just glued to the floor.
So are these the bells that you had at at Gripmas last year?
Yes.
Downstairs at the gym there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, because I was messing around with those bells a little bit, and yeah, I made it up to, I think it was the 150, and then after that I was like, yeah, I'm good. So, yeah.
Well, especially 4 events deep, too. That'll be a game changer. Yeah.
Sure. That should be hard.
And, awesome. The comp on that day is starting at 9 or so, and then now we're up to almost 4 o'clock, about 4 o'clock. So that's a lot of work time, a lot of standing around. Going to be important to conserve your energy.
Well, yeah, especially with like it ending. If your speculation at 9 o'clock the previous night, it's 12 hours, and then you're hitting it all over again. So that's a lot. Cool.
Wow. So then Blob medley following that, huh?
Okay. So the Blob medley, Jedd, you actually helped set this one out for the order it goes into. So for the legends, you're going lightest to heaviest, one at a time. Don't do 2 at a time. I just don't think it's going to look as good for the audience. You can switch your hands all you want. You can alternate hands. You can do whatever you want as long as you only touch 1 at a time.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you want to start with your left and then go to your dominant hand or whatever that might be, yeah, you can do that. So it's half of a 70, half of an 80, half of a 90, half of a 110 legacy. Then it's a Blob 50. And this one's got a bit of texture to it. So it's not a particularly hard Blob 50. It's somewhere in the middle of the road. Half a 120 legacy, a slick Fat Man, and then Blobzilla.
Jeez. Is it too late to sneak the red pill into that lineup? That's that new one.
Yeah.
You guys heard of that? That's that awesome one.
Yeah.
Jedd and I are the proud owners, yeah. Well, and whoever else has them now. That'd be cool.
Red pill.
Yep. You haven't seen that, James?
No, I have. I remember, Jedd, you did a video with the red pill, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did a little unboxing. Yes.
Yeah.
They're pretty badass looking. Mine just sticks there on the floor, though. I can drag it, but that's about it. Yeah, it's no danger of being lifted here.
It's a tough blob. The paint on it is really, really hard. It makes it really hard. It's harder than it's harder than the Silarukov blob that I borrowed from a dude for a while.
Ooh. Would you say it's tougher than a Fat Man?
It's way tougher than a Fat Man.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I would say mine is harder than Blobzilla. It's harder than my Blobzilla.
See, yeah, you got to sneak that in there. He did a nice job making that. It's a nice piece of work. Yeah, no doubt about it. Oh,
what say you, Andrew? A late addition to the Blob medley of the red pill?
Where would that sit in the lineup, Jedd?
I'd bump the 70.
It's the red pill is harder to lift than my Blobzilla.
And my Blobzilla is easier than your Blobzilla. Okay. Well, if you guys
got a nice ring to
throw a bonus.
I know. I was thinking the same thing, Alan. My mom's prettier than your mom, kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know that your.
I wouldn't be against
Did I say that your Blobzilla is easier than mine?
I stripped all the paint off of mine.
Oh, yeah,
metal.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the thing. All these legacies for this contest have had the paint stripped off.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some really bad slick.
That's got to be double blasphemous to James. Not only did you cut him in half, but you stripped the paint.
Well, you know
He's
what?
Just cringing right now.
It's funny that you say that. I'm going to an arm wrestling event in a few weeks in Georgia, and while I'm there, I might have a bead on 2 150-pound York Legacy dumbbells, which I will purchase if I get a chance to, and they will never be cut, ever. They will remain intact right here at the York Dumbbell Preservation Society.
I'm with you, James. I don't know why these heathens are cutting apart dumbbells, bro. It's bull.
You're a murderer. You're You're gonna have the only uncut dumbbells out there, James.
Pretty much.
I know. Well, that's part of my plan for World Domination. I'll have the only York dumbbells that aren't cut up. You know, so I will. It'll be like, you know, the person with all the gold. You know, I'll be like that. That's who I'll be. So
nice.
You're gonna have those buried with you one day.
Yeah. I have a friend here in Detroit, and this is going to blow your mind. He has a pair of Fat Man's dumbbells, uncut.
Good for him. Good man.
Yep.
What a good man.
Well, have you told him what they're worth if he cuts them up, though?
Oh,
their value like quadruples.
Yeah, you don't care.
For whatever reason.
He's one of those, they're staying in my collection.
Good. I like this guy. I might drive up to Detroit just to shake his hand. Good man.
I'll try and drag him down. I'm still working on him for Legends. Still.
All right. Well, you work on him, and you tell him he's got a fan. I don't even know his name, but he's got a fan. So
that's it. That's the whole day. And then dinner after the gym. I'm trying to get a catering service out to do barbecue that night.
Nice. Very nice.
So
the athletes list.
All right. Let's go.
I got to go to a different topic to find this now in the grip board here.
I know our lone representative here from the Charlotte Pickup Artists will be one Gary Stewart.
Gary Stewart. So let me go down. I got the Legends class. I got Derniat, Brandon Gerber, Jake Shalani, Eric Rosen, Jedd Johnson, Todd Conan, Thomas Larson, Lucas Raymond, Tim Butler, Aaron Corcoran, Mike Rinderly, and Joshua Haynes. He may or may not be lifting. He's debating on that.
So no Nate Browse?
Oh, he's not coming?
I don't think he's coming.
Okay.
He's signed up to come, though. Mm-hmm.
So no Adam Glass, no Tanner Merkel, none of those guys?
Negative.
Oh,
you have my blessing, though, to badger, beg, annoy, anything of the above. Get them
I was thinking Gil, too.
We'll have to start trolling them on their Instagram. Yeah.
You know, Gil's another one. If you would have asked me 3 years ago, I thought Gil would have been a contender for the top spots, possibly overall.
Yeah.
With this many events and how well-rounded he is.
Yeah.
But I know he's had surgery and he's recovering.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was fairly recent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's another weird thing about having 3 years between the contests. The lineup I had in my head back then, nowhere close to what it turned into.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Well, Hildy, we've got for the women's class. It's kind of that's the only women I have right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then opens class, I've got Andrew Dube, Anton Torella, Tom Flesher, and Gary Stewart.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I mean, quality list of guys, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's going to be a heck of an event. That's for sure.
Yeah.
If I do end up going, it sounds like Gary's going to be exhausted by the time everything ends on Saturday. I'll have to drive home, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's going to be a zombie.
Probably naps in the back. Potentially napping in the back with my new dumbbell, my new inch dumbbell. But I guess we have to talk about that.
And talk about that.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to meeting Todd Conan. I've never met him, Alan. I know that you have.
Oh, that's right. Yes, because the year he showed up at Gripmas, you weren't there. I remember that. Yeah, you had some obligation. I can't remember what it was, but he had mentioned that. Yeah. Todd's a hell of a guy.
Yeah, that's right. There was one time there was a work thing I had to go to, and there was another time where I injured my forearm. So, injured my forearm once, injured my back once. Sometimes December is not a good month for old Napalm, but I'm really looking forward to meeting Todd. He's one of the original members at the Grip Authority. He's been a member since January of 2010.
Wow, cool.
He's really well rounded. You know, I think you'll see a real decent axle pull out of him, and his two-hand pinch will be up there pretty good. And that's actually about all I know about him from the grip point of view. I think he does pretty good in those areas. Everything else, though, I'm not sure. Those are just the ones in particular that stood out. So,
he probably saw that there was no hub in this contest and put pen to paper instantly. I know he doesn't like hubs.
Oh, so we're going there. Anything else? Anything else, Jedd?
I think he said something about distaste for key pinch.
Okay, here we go.
I really like this guy.
I was baiting you in.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Todd Conan. I didn't even know it.
Jerome Bloom just unsubscribed.
Yes.
He's heard enough.
That's it.
I don't think Todd's ever said anything about key pinch. I think I slipped that one in there myself.
Oh.
Oh. So who else are we missing from this Legends class list, though, that we need to get involved here? I'm trying to think.
Cody's name's not on there. He won it last time.
No, right.
Yep, Cody's out.
No Yuha, no Ardo again?
No Ardo, no Yuha
signed up. Too. Carl Myerscough was a name that I would have loved to have seen.
Yep.
No Wayne Snook, he's not getting there.
No.
Yeah, Chad Woodall would have been another one.
No Chad. Mm-mm.
Why doesn't somebody get on the horn to Brian Shaw over there?
There you go.
It's possible.
You know.
Well, I was actually thinking with the prizes on the line, maybe even, Joel Dirks would show some interest in something like that.
Yeah.
I think he'd do decent on the thick bar,
Well, how far is it from you guys, Alan? Because Joel lives close to you. How far is it from you guys to Mason, Ohio? Is it in Mason? Where is it?
Worcester.
Is it Mason?
Worcester.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. It's still got to be close to, from the driving point of view, it's got to be 10 hours or so, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe more. I don't know.
Anything in Wisconsin's probably 10, 12 hours.
Yeah.
Definitely double-digit hours, no doubt.
Yeah.
Bit of a hike. But I know that's one of the things he kind of holds out for is, getting something out of the deal. So that might, I'll pass that on to him. If it's not, when's the last somebody can sign up for this?
Day of.
Oh, okay. All right. Nice.
I've got enough padding in the schedule to allow for day of sign up.
Sure. Cool. Okay.
So, question.
Yeah.
How are things going over at Fat Bastard Barbell Company? It seemed I know everybody had talked about steel prices, going up being an issue. Have things rebounded for you?
Yeah, that whole trade war thing's finally calmed down, and that I got hit from it a little more than what would have been expected. I think you've heard the tariff went up 25% on steel.
Yeah.
My local suppliers were going 3 or 4x standard pricing. They were gouging.
Yeah.
Which kind of put me in a situation where it's like the raw material was costing me more than I was selling products for.
Yeah.
So that's when I had shut down for 3-4 months and let that calm down. Now it's back to a bit more of a dull roar.
Okay.
Well,
it's good to see you back moving in the right direction, at least. With it, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know who made the most recent purchase on a 2.5-inch crusher, Andrew.
Who's that?
And I know this because he just texted me during the call. Mr. Chad Woodall.
You are correct.
Oh, there we go.
Well.
Yep, and I was bugging him on Legends. You're right. It's funny, I was actually packing that up right before I came over to jump on the call. So, Chad, it's in the box. I just haven't put the label on it yet.
Cool.
There you go.
I've been chatting with him quite a bit lately via text about grip. He's looking to throw his hat back in the ring.
That would be cool.
That would be
I'd
cool.
like to see the man in action.
Really cool.
Oh, yeah. You will. You will, brother.
That'll be awesome.
So, Andrew, what else about Living Legends do we want to cover here? What do we need to tell people so that we get more signups?
I mean, the prize package is fairly decent. I mean, first place is $600 cash, a 150-inch dumbbell, and a giant trophy.
Not bad.
And that should That's not bad.
That's nice.
150 was picked. What's that?
No, I was going to say you could add this, too. You could tell everybody to stop being pussies. Sometimes that's a good motivator.
You know what? I'm going to go there. You know what? Forget it. I'll go there. That's actually why I think people aren't signing up. This is not a nice list. I mean, you can legitimately show up. What's that?
Here's a quote from Andrew Pantke, direct quote. Stop being pussies. Sign up for Legends.
I'll stand by
period.
Well,
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I mean, legitimate, though. I mean, you can be a very, very good grip athlete and not finish in the top half.
Oh, yeah.
It's
like
not a nice list.
I think myself as being pretty good. I'm not finishing the top half of that. What, are you fucking crazy?
Exactly.
But, yeah, I mean, geez, it sounds like a fun time.
It's going to be a good time.
You know? I feel like
you
I
could
could
put
probably
that
pull
quote
100 pounds on that 2 3/8" axle. Yeah, maybe 100 pounds, maybe 120 on that. So.
Oh, you can handle that and then some. I know you can pull 130 on it.
Maybe I'll give it a shot before the event. We'll see.
Andrew, have you seen an entry come in for Jason Dingy?
I have not.
I'm pretty sure he's intending on coming.
Okay.
Just
that's
paperwork in.
Yeah, there's a few people I've heard verbals from, including a couple internationals, but I don't want to name them until they've committed. So.
Right. Sure.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I heard some names, international names already that, you know, are obviously going to be there and throw monkey wrenches into the competition.
Thomas
it would be very
strong.
cool. Yeah, it would be very cool to meet Thomas Larson, I was thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stuff
when he
does
came down for the Arnold, he had the flu last time, right?
Yeah, he was coming off, like, pneumonia and stuff.
Yeah.
He was not in top form, bro. It was too bad. It was real bad timing.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps we will get a top form Thomas Larson in the mix. That would be good.
Yeah, everybody wants to see people in top form, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Not hacking up lungs and stuff like that.
Right.
Anything else for Mr. Andrew Pantke? Or is there anything Mr. Andrew Pantke would like to add other than that very colorful comment that he made earlier about people not signing up?
Get your sign-ups in, guys. If you want to get in here, this is going to be a good contest.
Now he's being
it's going to be a tough one. Huh?
No, now you're going to be diplomatic. Before the
well, it is. Actually, I will throw this out there. Right now, I have 4 athletes in the open class. If I get one more 120 and one more sub 120, I'll split that into 2 classes by weight class. But I'm not going to do it where you don't auto win by showing up and nobody else is in your weight class. It's just that I never liked that philosophy.
Right.
Man, if there's nobody else in your class, well, sucks to be you. You're going to join these other guys. If it's not fair, too bad. Get over it.
Yes, absolutely.
This is.
I've seen people do that at like national events at arm wrestling, where they cut down to like 55 kilograms, and you know what I mean. And it's like they kill themselves to get down there, and it's themselves in the class, and they get their medal. And it's like, did you seriously go through that and show?
That's bullshit. That is such bullshit because you didn't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, you just won the national dieting championship.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you want.
Yeah. Like a keto class or something.
You know, like Bob. If Bob wants to come and compete and he wants a 74 class, get on the horn. There's enough 74 athletes. Get 2 more. Come on out. We'll make the class.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would trust me. Like I would love to bring Bob, but. Like, some weeks I don't think Bob even wants to see me. So I don't know if he wants to travel all the way up to Ohio. So
that's funny.
Actually, there's some weeks I'm almost positive he doesn't want to see me. And I show up anyway. So.
I have to crash him one day.
Yeah, you might have better success talking to Bob than I would. So,
okay.
I could probably work on Jason though, but I know it's hard because the school year starts and you know he's a school administrator, so it's not as easy during the school year for him to take off a Friday and get up there. So,
gotcha. Yeah, that is definitely something I've struggled with, was whether or not to run it as a 2-day or a super marathon day or a Saturday Sunday gig. At some point, I just had to make a decision, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, sure.
So,
and you could always amend for the future, if need be.
If need be. I know there's a few Canadians that Eric's been trying to get to come down. So yeah, this list could grow. It could grow.
Well, I certainly hope so, and I hope we have done our part by promoting your event ahead of time, so that people will come.
Do you guys got anything you want to go over? What's that? If you build it. And I've been building it. Holy cow, I've been building this thing for years.
That's it. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else for Mr. Pantke? Gentlemen, what say you?
Nothing for me, brother. I'm bled dry.
Nope, I'm good.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Sounds like the show's yours, Alan. Take it away.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Andrew. This was a lot of fun. Hope everybody liked it. That's it for episode 104 of This Week in Grip. Stay tuned next week for another one. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you later.